Yo, we are live. Welcome to the best stream on YouTube. As you can see, I have added a slideshow. It is a slideshow of the different players that you can play as, which is very interesting. So there's pigeon, parrot, now it's on parrot, duck, and the star of the show, chicken. Today I'm going to try and sort out some VSync stuff. So I'm just using a software renderer at the moment, but that is going to cause screen tear, which is probably pretty hard to demonstrate on the stream. But I do want to have the option to enable VSync. It'll just require a GPU renderer. So that's basically any renderer that is not the software renderer. Weirdly enough, you can actually turn on VSync with a software renderer, and it behaves exactly like VSync usually would, where it waits for a certain amount of time before displaying the frame. But I don't think it actually achieves anything but replicates that behavior. I believe that there would still be screen tear, but we can double check that. So I can definitely feel the lag, like the 1 frame lag on the inputs as I'm moving left and right. But I haven't seen any screen tearing yet. Let's see if we can get it to do it at least once. No, I'm not seeing anything. Wait, what's the renderer? Yeah, I'm using the software renderer. Okay, I don't know how it would be implemented. But I do see it's using a fair amount of CPU. So it must be doing a CPU wait. An advantage of VSync on the GPU is you don't have to use as much CPU. Yeah, I don't really see. I don't see any screen tearing. So do I even need to use a hardware renderer for VSync? So that's with the software renderer. Just look at hardware, the GPU renderer again, and see if it's the same. Whoops. Get something that's quite vertical, like this big duck. One sec. So I definitely feels like there's a bit more lag. Because VSync will buffer at least one frame before displaying it. It could be like a triple buffer mode or something when it's enabled. Yeah, I don't know what to do. It's whether or not, I guess the question is if there's a point in VSync on the software renderer. Which I don't know. What I'll do anyway is could probably disable control how many back buffers there are with hints. I actually don't know. Don't know when I sent this set. Sorry. I think what I'll do is let's just program something anyway. So I want to get it to I want to see if I can switch between hardware and software renderer when VSync is toggled on and off. I guess the expectation is when you have VSync on, you, as like the user of the computer, you expect it to do a proper hardware, like a GPU thing. So I'll just kind of make that assumption and continue. So right now I am using Create Window and Renderer. So and that can't, STL window, so that I can't provide renderer flags with this, so I can start with this as long as I set the right hints beforehand. But once the player starts toggling the VSync on and off, I think I need to use something else. Just create renderer probably. Rendering driver, so this will be pretty straightforward. I'll just be providing the same window, and then if VSync's on, I'll just send it null to let it choose, and it will pretty much always choose a hardware renderer, GPU renderer. So in Mac, that'll be Metal. On Windows, I don't know, OpenGL or Vulkan, or no, sorry, it would be DirectX 11 or something. And I don't know what it would be on Linux. let's see what else we might be calling on the renderer before we before the renderer is actually used. So just setting this doesn't really matter. The texture. So the base texture, which I'm rendering to, because I am just doing software rendering at the end of the day. Like actually just drawing pixel data to a texture. I might need to recreate that. And that might be it. So let's see if we can do that. Now I could do an inline lambda function which does it. I'll need to destroy the render as well, in between creating and destroying. Let's create a renderer, create renderer. Just do a create render, create texture. Is there anything else? Setting the VSync, I guess. But in that case, can I just do that with hints? Or should I actually set the VSync on it? Get rid of VSync. Now if I can't set the VSync, so if I set a VSync and it errors, do I want to then delete the renderer again? Yeah. So let's do a do like a helper here. So we'll go like create a renderer and texture, I think. Creates a renderer and texture and attempts to assign the given VSync value. Hey, pardon me. We'll also go steel quit. If I can't create them, I still want to use the original values. So I might want to create the new renderers and then destroy the old ones. But if I can't create the new ones for some reason, then I'd continue using the old ones. So we'll go create the renderer using a window. SDL create renderer with the window. And if VSync is on, then pass this null. If it's not, that's where we'll use the software renderer. And just double check what it returns. As if there is an error, then that's pretty bad. Couldn't create renderer. And that's where we will return, we'll just return some nulls. Ideally, we would return I guess we'd use like unique pointers to store the renderer and the texture. That way we can kind of ensure that they get freed properly. And would pass them like the destroy renderer, destroy texture as the free, as part of the free function. Set render presentation, so this is optional and we'll continue if that fails. Here is where we create the main texture. Now if this fails, we will destroy the renderer because there's no point continuing. It's texture scale mode, again that's optional. And we'll go return renderer and texture pair. So create render and texture. Now SGL does recommend that you keep using create window and renderer because that avoids a flickering or something. Probably as the renderer gets assigned to the window or something. I don't really know, I'm just guessing. So it's all the initial stuff. And what we'll do is first we'll just compile that. It's actually not going to do anything yet. We need a menu item, or at least like a console command or something. VSync. So how we usually toggle stuff in our main loop from the game is, how do we do that? I think we just set flags. But here, game requested toggle full screen, so that it's just like a toggle. Can probably do the same thing here. So go const int, maybe. Oh, we'll just assume it's a toggle, so we'll go. We'll just do the same thing. So have some property that is true when the player is trying to toggle vsync on. Just make sure that just to make sure that gets reset. In the constructor. Vsync toggle off. Before events as well. That's where we will toggle that off. Then I should just copy exactly what I've done for vsync, full screen. Check for vsync toggle to do. And we want to reset it every frame. Requested vsync toggle. Yep. And we'll just make a menu item for it as well. So toggle full screen, that gets toggled in this menu. We could probably do a console command for it as well. So we do have some special console commands. After events. This is before, this is after we've gathered the gathered the SGL events, before we send those off to the actual game logic. But there's like a bunch of stuff we can do. Let's add toggles, full screen mode. State console command, vsync, toggles, vsync. Cool, let's see if that compiles. A bunch of warnings, which I'll eventually clean up. Let's just see, so yeah, the full screen command is working. And then vsync I have yet to implement. So if we go game requested VSync toggle. Then this is where we're going to attempt to toggle the VSync with our new function. And by toggle I mean switch between hardware and software renderer, as I think that's kind of the VSync that I want to do, because I can get away with using the software renderer. I may as well, because it is very simple graphics. So here the VSync will be me toggling the renderer most likely. So set renderer STLV. I think I have a toggling VSync function up here actually. Yeah. So set VSync, get VSync. So we'll do this fairly early, because it's important that this actually succeeds. Attempt to set the desired VSync value. Resulting VSync equals could not fit VSync. So I don't know if I do have a get VSync, but it's like could not get VSync to it. If set renderer VSync fails, is it guaranteed that get renderer VSync will also fail? So there might not be much point in doing all this. So maybe we'll just do directly in here. So if we can't set the VSync, then there's not really much point in continuing, so we'll destroy and return in this case. And I am just assuming that their VSync will either be 1 or 0. I know you can do -1 in some cases for adaptive VSync, but I don't know if I need to use that. I especially don't need to use values greater than 1, which will like cause a delay. So I'll just double check the documentation. So adaptive mode might need a better explanation. For late swap tearing, VSync adaptive mode. Okay, that kind of sounds cool actually. Let's look at a real answer first, not an AI answer. Variance tolerance, yeah, blah blah blah. At high frame rates, VSync is enabled. At low frame rates, it's disabled. Okay. I don't know if I really will ever get low frame rates. I'll just put that as a to-do. Allow option question mark. Now when we toggle next renderer, next texture, just VSync. So what is the current, where am I maintaining the current VSync value? Here. Which is that going to start on or off? On. Let's go next VSync. Next renderer is not null. Then we will swap out the renderer for this one. Same with the texture. I have no idea if this is gonna crash the game or not. Doesn't really seem like something you do often, is swapping out the renderer. Oops. So just got an error. Could not create renderer already associated with window. Well, we know it's at least protecting against that. Let's find a function to dissociate. What's flush renderer? No, I probably shouldn't touch that. Set render target. Oh no, that's for rendering to a texture instead of a window. Oh, there's actually a macro for this. May as well use that. What we'll do is we might be on this wrong wiki page. API by category. Video, okay. So here you might see it will recommend using create window and renderer. Yeah, this one here. Get window, blah blah blah. Maybe I just have to delete the renderer here. Destroy the current one. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. This is going to be crap code. But let's try it. Cannot create render, window frame buffer support not available. And the renderer has died, so it's not rendering anymore. Window frame buffer support not available. So remove renderer from window. Right. So the error was could not create renderer. It's a pretty old answer, so don't know if this will still be relevant. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, might not be possible to swap render at runtime, unfortunately. Window frame buffer not supported. Window frame buffer support not available. Whoops. It's not the type of renderer I'm creating, is it? Default VSync 1. So it's going 1, 0. Let's print it. Zero. Let's just set this to 1. Maybe the window. Oops. That is not the right one. VSync. I'll create the same renderer as the one before. Yeah, so if I delete and just recreate the same renderer as before, they'll continue to work. So I think there must be like properties on the window which need to be reset. Same here. It's probably the same if I start out with software renderer. Oh man, what am I doing here? So we'll start off with a software renderer, and if I delete that and recreate it, yeah, it will still work. So it's just switching between renderer types. Should I get rid of this? GPU driver enabled. Let's just make sure we're not setting any crappy properties to begin with. So if default VSync is on, we'll do that. Same here. Returning vsync. Just keep this changing vsync. Keep that print there. So if these error, I don't know what to do. Do I just recreate the attempt again to recreate the render and texture before vsync was turned on? Anyway, let's see what happens. Just with those original hints turned off, maybe they were causing issues. Okay. So next vsync may have actually worked then. Vsync was next vsync, create render and texture, and I'll just log the renderer properties. Just do it there. Do it as early as I can. There's software now. Okay, I've actually not toggling it correctly. Create renderer. Am I setting a... Oh, okay, I gotta remove the hint, because that hint's gonna be persistent. Okay, it looks like it's toggling correctly now. So that is cool. Now some of these hints, yeah, that kills it. But like frame buffer, acceleration, SDL can try to accelerate the SDL screen surface by using screen textures, 3D rendering. Like what's 3D acceleration? I don't know. What's accelerating the SDL screen surface? I turned it off because I probably thought it was junk. Let's just see if we can leave it off, because I would prefer to be able to set things and not have any errors. So just try and set the hint each time. Nope. So that could not create renderer. Okay. So it doesn't like me setting that off. Hmm. So let's actually see if it's working as well. So render a metal, render a software. Oh yeah, you can see the screen tearing now. So I could have a options. Do I want a renderer option? Or just a VSync option? I don't know. So, set hint. Default VSync. So we have some related things here. Let's delete these because I don't fully understand them. And here, let's actually not do this. Let's can't render text. Let's do it down here as a get function. get a current vsync value. Game state is full screen, so where am I? Guess I could set it on state as well. So get current vsync value, or whatever, I'll just do that later. Could not get vsync value. Toggle vsync. I'll do it like this. Delete current stuff. Can probably just set them. So delete it anyway. Yeah. But here we'll have to go if renderer null, then attempt to create original vsync again. Yeah, something like that. The only other thing we should do is we can refactor a bit of this. So we can go set renderer properties and create texture. This is where we can do all the remaining stuff, all the common functions. This is the bit I don't really know. Like, do I want to just still allow vsync, but only if the renderer? Yeah, I probably want to. I don't know. It's only really for like those legacy games, which have been like remastered, where you can choose the between like software renderer, OpenGL renderer, etc. Like the Marathon ports, where like and like Doom as well, where the original game itself was a software renderer, whereas new ports can use like the more to, I guess, the more up-to-date stuff. The latest tech. So yeah, here I probably want to... I'll probably actually allow a renderer option where you control between hardware and software renderer, and then if it's a hardware renderer, then I'll allow the VSync on and off. Or just allow that no matter what, I don't know. I think I'm thinking about this way too much, way more than I should be, so... We'll go to do, remove this, allow toggle in menu instead. Create texture. So I'll be able to reuse this down here. Init renderer properties and create texture. So to change this a bit. Set render properties and create texture. So that condition I'll test down here. See, I'll destroy renderer. Okay. Set render properties, create texture. So I'll just have to do another destroy here. Displaying an error in the function. Could not create the main texture. Yeah, I am. So just have to quit everything here. Do I have all the fancy comments? Yeah, I do. Oh, I should set this as well. So we'll go Texture scale, oh, I'm already setting that. Oops. Set render properties and create texture. Already doing that. Cool, let's see what happens. I'll just give this a more obvious type. Oh, okay, so create the main texture. Yeah, I probably want to. Might need to pass through the window, because I do want to display that error if it happens. So I'll just pass it through like this. And I've just got a spelling error. Cool. Yeah, it's not toggling now. Render of software. Oh, that's because of that hint stuff again. Alright. So I need to set that every time. Lame. Let's. No, surely not. I guess if I pass null, it'll actually use hint. So that is something I might need to actually do. Sets hints related to vsync. Let's just do that. Oh, but I'll do it here. Set base hints to do allow hardware software parameter. We'll just set the hints again. you can just move this. Metal software, metal software. It works. Now the next thing I actually want to do is I want to quickly change some VSync stuff down here. So here's the CPU waiting. I want to turn this off if VSync's enabled. Game request SEO kit. Get current VSync value. So I might need to do this every frame. Oh well. So if we can't get the value, we will just assume it's off. All got VSync. Got VSync. Check for VSync toggle. If this fails, I guess we'll just end up exiting, so can I assume that current VSync will be correct by this point? Toggle VSync. If VSync is off, then wait using the CPU. So here we are using delay precise, SDL delay precise. And then we're just spinning the CPU just in case. It's like a bit of a sanity check. Now what this means is you see the DT between frames is going to jump around a lot. So here it's a nice constant 16 milliseconds. This is with VSync off. But if we're not doing any CPU waiting and purely relying on the delay from VSync, you'll see it's jumping around quite a bit. And our player actually, the movement code has a pretty silly thing where it is expecting every frame to be about exactly 16 milliseconds, which gives it this nice like pixel movement, but it does have to have some tolerance for the fluctuations here. So otherwise what will happen is sometimes when the player moves, he'll look really janky and move either kind of 2 pixels or 0 pixels. Let's just check result. So if this fails, we'll just exit. Destroy window and exit. Okay. So create your own texture. Okay, they're either both null or both not. So the movement code, that needs to just be smoothened out a bit. So I have move timer. And when that exceeds 16.6666 milliseconds, then it moves the player by 1. But I kind of want to make this look smoother, so I want to tie the player movement more to the actual window refresh rate. Unless the DT is like really small, then I don't want to tie it to the update rate, because then the player will move way too fast. Actually, that could be quite funny. So if I go, wait. The advantage of doing it like this is I can kind of double process if it's really laggy, but it's not going to be that laggy. Whoa! He's quick. Let's still beat the level. Yes, I can. Like the sound playing over and over. So that is the advantage of having this move timer, but I do want to try and tie it to the screen as well, so it doesn't jump around. So we'll go check dt for a tolerance. And what I could do is increase the move timer by dt. I could check the remaining. I could say like check if adding move timer closes like the remaining value within 50% or something, then it does the movement. Just trying to think, if the refresh rate is 120, then I want to do it every second frame. So that would be like move timer going up by half and then another, and I'll trigger it on this second one. But I'll probably be checking if the second edition, say, puts it like within like 10% of the added value towards like move timer. Need to think of some like versatile way of doing it like that. So let's just come up with something random. So gain state dt, I could say like remaining timer X move timer, remaining move timer. I could say like if the remaining timer is like below like 10% of the DT, then trigger a movement. So if DT is really small, then I do actually want to wait. And this might let it tick that many times. This would be absolute value as well. Actually, no, that wouldn't matter because it would just end up negative. Because movement is per pixel, I probably wouldn't have the timer carry forward. don't think that'll matter that much. So next move timer, remaining timer. So if this is like 16 milliseconds, then that's jumping between like 17 and 14 milliseconds, which it might with VSync enabled. Then like 1%, if it's within like a 1% tolerance, so that'll be 1.6 milliseconds. If I like land on a remaining time within that tolerance, then I'll update the player movement. That might work. I'm just trying new movement. When the timer lands very close to the move timer, and it's checksum tolerance based on the DT. With tolerance relative to the DT. And then do I want to set move timer back to 0, or do I want to set it to, do I want to subtract? Next move timer. I can just do this as well. Don't know why I'm saving it as a float. To do, possibly set to 0. So turn VSync on. Alright, it's already working pretty well. Let's just see what happens if I add the CPU weight back in. That's weird because Actually, it feels like it's delayed less now. Like the input lag feels less now. What the hell? That doesn't seem right. Hang on. Where is that level? Level 5. What the hell? The input lag feels... Wait. Try making this a bit lower. Okay, that's really weird. When I wait, even when VSync's on, it feels more responsive. Is that because I'm... Why could that be? Oh, what the hell? That is so weird. I have no idea why it's doing that. Just for my own sanity, let's do one move timer per frame. That's so weird. Look, it's going to be using less CPU as well because I got VSync on. And it's doing the GPU wait. Okay. Do I just... Oh, okay, wait, let's just try this one last test. It's very weird. Yeah, now it feels laggy. Why would waiting reduce the lag? Unless it's like... what could be happening here? So I render, this waits for the GPU. Now for smaller times, that will wait a little bit. Which might, this could kick it. If anything, this would kick it down a frame, an extra frame. Right. Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, I don't really know what to think about that. It's definitely... Wait. Let's just put my move timer back on. There, so we got the smooth movement back for non-VSync. Although we only really need this kind of smoothing if VSync is on, so or like so weird. Now, where's the big duck? There he is. Wait, is it jumping more? Yeah, I can definitely see the screen tearing. Let's do VSync on. It's like very smooth, but it's barely any input lag as well. If I wait, if I have the delay functions, and if anyone can tell me what's going on there, because I have no idea Well, I'll turn it back off. Oh. Now it's a bit clunky. Just make sure this clunkiness isn't happening with the old movement. Oh no, it's still kind of happening. Oop. I don't know what's going on. Is there ever a time where it is synced up? Oh yeah, it's smooth for a second there. It's not completely busted. Well, I don't know what's happening there, I'm afraid. What I should try is let's try and turn on VSync for the software renderer, because if it's not actually lagging that much due to this weird thing at the bottom, then I could just have it on at all times. So let's go SGL setit. We'll just always have VSync on. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel that laggy. I mean, there's a bit of lag, but it's not like insane like it is when I'm not waiting, so like this. So you can definitely feel the heft. Oh, I don't know. Or maybe I couldn't. Let's have another look. So we'll keep it off. Okay, it gets better when I switch to the hardware. This is a little bit of heft. Now there's like barely any. Or am I just imagining things? V-Sync. Off. I don't know what's going on. Let's check the CPU. 29, 28, yep, that's what I'll expect. Toggle it twice. Yeah, more or less the same. $27, $28. I'll go down a lot when I turn on V-Sync, so it's down to 12, 11. And I turn it back off. 28, 27. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think I'm gonna just. Oh my god! I'll just allow both options in the menu. I think, and just let them pick whichever seems best. This might be different on different hardware. Like at the moment, I'm on this Mac. I don't know if this input lag is going to be the same on different systems. This weird stuff here which apparently makes it lag less when V-Sync's on. So I have no idea what's going on. Maybe I don't know. Does the fact that I'm doing a delay precise maybe so it loops? The next thing it causes pole event. Does pole event does it have to like delay a bit in order for like the events to, I don't know, get polled or something in the background? Let's try this. I just delay 1 nanosecond every frame. It says VSync off. It does feel a bit more sluggish. Than with the attempted like accurate weighting which I was doing. Now let's just uncomment this completely. Oh, it's hard to tell. But this definitely feels best with the accurate weight. I do not know why. Oh well. I'll need to test this with. It seems like a weird thing to add. Oh well, I will investigate this later.